For this past Sunday's video, the Sunday slip, I did a small giveaway on that video seeking 125 likes in a window of 48 hours. So at the time of recording this one, we haven't fully reached that 48-hour window. I want to give everybody a chance to get it. So 2 days ago, go look for that giveaway, that option. This is the card you could win. I think that's pretty cool. Nice little fun giveaway just for that video. All you got to do is like, comment, and subscribe there. Today is Tuesday. With our Tuesday, Trending Tuesday, things going up in price, Pokemon single cards and sealed products going up in price. Let's take a look. We've actually got a lot to get into. We're starting out with Raging Bolt EX from Temporal Forces. This has been climbing. I don't know if that 128 is completely accurate. Just over 100 here. Looks like 103. A little bit of recovery from the boom from the Black Friday sales time frame. But really, if you're looking at it, just over the past 6 months, it's been quite a trend in the upward direction. That is for sure on the top chase card out of Temporal Forces. Now, the interesting thing here is Temporal Forces kind of set the pace on a different pull rate that we weren't quite used to. Really difficult pull rates. And yet, the top chase is only just over $100. Why is it that these other sets have some crazy prices attached to them? I don't know. I don't understand. Keeping in Temporal Forces, and actually we're just kind of going set by set on a handful of them, really. Iron Crown EX, same situation. We've had some major growth just recently, but over the past year, it looks like an interesting stair-stepping down, but it's all a matter of perspective, you know? If you bought it up at this higher point, okay, great. We are on a downward trend for those who purchased then. If you bought it at one of those low points in there, you're actually still missing out because it's a lot higher. So I'm trying to look at it a little bit more fair snapshot the past 6 months, just where things are at. Yeah, we were coming down, we shot up, maybe we're going to be recovering, but this is the stair-stepping beginning to go back up in price over time. The further away we get from these sets, the fewer are going to be pulled, the fewer packs are going to be opened, the fewer are going to be on the market altogether. There may be reprints. I don't know if that's going to be happening for Temporal Forces, but I wouldn't really count on a big reprint if it does happen at all, because I don't think the popularity is there, and the Pokemon Company could focus their efforts on something like Surging Sparks or others, really, to see if they can satisfy the market in that way. Just looking at this one here, the Walking Wake EX, and moving pretty quickly over the past 6 months from 47 all the way up to 63. Pretty solid trend upward on that card there. Keeping in Temporal Forces, Gouging Fire. We're just doing all of them, really. I think we're moving on from Temporal after this here. Just the top chase cards, though, similar to the Iron Crown or Iron whatever it is. Yeah, Iron Crown. Similar strategy there, where it kind of started coming down here and then a little bump up. I don't even know if it was that severe in the past year. No, not quite as much. But you can see lately the trend is up, putting it at $51 for you there. Moving on to Paldean Fates. Anybody who's been paying a little bit of attention to Paldean Fates, they're seeing the Bubble Mew has gone out of control. Absolutely out of control. We could stretch this out a little bit, and at one point it was $134, and everybody thought that was a pretty high spike, and then it kind of recovered into the $75, $80 range for a long while. It grew a little bit, but then it just started taking off, and now we're seeing it leveling out at $270. That seems a little bit too high in my opinion. At prices like these, it's almost worth opening a little bit more, because these are not hard to find as far as packs. They are still on the shelves, pretty readily available at every restock that I've come across in recent months. So it wouldn't be a hard thing to go for. I mean, it'd be a hard pull to get for sure, but it wouldn't be a bad chase to go for, considering all the baby shinies and everything else you can get in this. There's some variety here that you wouldn't be just opening the same thing over and over. Charizard out of Paldean Fates, similar story, just really skyrocketing lately here to $162 and a little bit of change on there for you. Garbodor EX, this one I thought was actually going to settle down for a while, but it didn't. It came down to a little dip of 38, and it's been a steady climb back up pretty quick here into that $63 range. I don't know if we were up that high very long. No, only in the FOMO zone here, where we had that heavy price point, but really looking like not even a year has passed, and we are about to recover from the initial launch price. So that's pretty crazy that Modern is taking this kind of a turn. It would usually be a much more stretched out process in how this would go, but we had a low of $39, and now we're up to $63.42 on this one for your recent time frame if you want to go and make a purchase. Now, looking at Paldean Fates, sealed product, like a lot of different sets, would do a little bit better long term, and we're not even a year into this set fully. The Elite Trainer box from the Pokemon Center is exclusive. This was one of my picks out of the top 24 picks for investment pieces because of the gain in such a short time, going 65 all the way up to 145 really on the price point. Pretty wild stuff there, and not an easy pickup if you want to go spend it now, but it's not really that Mimikyu inside getting you there. It's the chase cards within those packs that is getting you there, the exclusivity of the Pokemon Center. And speaking of exclusive, you see these tins pop up every once in a while, and the only one always missing is Charizard, because nobody's going to pass an opportunity to grab this. Whether they open it or keep it sealed, that promo has a little bit of value, but we're sitting around $58 on this particular tin, and it's only been a growth from its MSRP all the way up, so pretty crazy here. Going on to Paradox Rift, we have the Groudon that actually takes the lead now as an illustration rare over the special illustration rare, which we're going to look at next. So this is the chase card of Paradox Rift, which means Paradox Rift is in a little bit of a better zone for completing it if you'd like to, price-wise. Now, there's some deals out there for picking up booster boxes and quite a few options of getting packs, although it's a difficult pull rate, difficult to get a hold of some of these good cards here, where if you go and get a booster box, there's no guarantee you'd actually pull the Groudon, but you can pull it, you can go and buy it for less than you'd get a booster box for. We've been seeing the stair-stepping happening here, a little recovery, a little bump, a little recovery, maybe in a recovery here. I don't know if it's going to level off, but if it was at $70 and this is the chase for the set, I could see this in a growth status here. I mean, the past 6 months shows that. So $64, just shy of $65 really on your market price for that one. Roaring Moon is the second in line there, and this was the chase for a long time as a special illustration rare out of Paradox Rift. We are sitting at $56. Now, you start looking at things, default is going to give you 3 months. It looks like it's really climbed like crazy. I've been opening everything up a little bit more to 6 months. Yes, the recent trend is going up for sure, but we actually have, we pin it here, just a slight increase over the past 6 months on that percentage right here from where it started in this time period to where it is now. Of course, there's highs and there are lows and everything changes in between, but once you start averaging it out, if you bought it 6 months ago, it was $56. Now it's $56, almost $57. So not a huge gain over time. The long term on single cards is going to be a much longer term, a little bit longer than sealed product is going to go for the majority of cards. However, there are those that stick out and make a show of it really quickly. We've seen several in recent sets going pretty crazy very fast, and that's what's pulling up the price on the sealed product because of those chase cards. Steelix out of Paradox Rift, another illustration rare that was sitting pretty low for a while. I think this $16 isn't even that accurate here. If we bring it way back here in a year, yeah, we had like a $10 to $12 card for quite some time, and then we just saw a big boom in May with the alt arts out of Sword and Shield. People who couldn't handle that went into Scarlet and Violet and went after special illustration rares and illustration rares, and that created a boom. We had to recover because it was a little bit too much, so we're going in this correction zone, and now looking here where we had it actually the last 6 months, the last 3 really showing that we are now climbing, and this is probably going to be the trend for this card, sitting in at $22.51 so far here. Pokemon 151. What a great set, and who wouldn't love to have this set in their collection, especially when you can get it for free. The Pokemon 151 poster collection going out to one lucky subscriber of this channel. We're just trying to get to 4,000 subscribers, folks. Not a big task to get to. By the end of the year would be great. A wonderful gift to me for Christmas would be fantastic. 2 3-pack blisters of Surging Sparks and 5 Pokemon mystery card lots. I want to make sure that there are multiple winners for this one, because you see so many channels that grow, and then as they're doing that growth and doing their giveaway, they give away one thing to one subscriber. What kind of chance is that? That seems bogus to me. If I'm in it for you and sharing my journey and want to be a part of yours, then I'd like to show that a little bit, and giving out 8 different prizes to a bunch of different people would be a good way of going instead of just limiting it down to one. So really excited to give that stuff away and have your support as part of the channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you can. share this out somehow, some way, on a Discord, on your X account, something, just to get it out there, because for some reason it's just not growing. And lately I've actually been losing a lot of subscribers. I don't know if it's YouTube cleaning things up or if people are really dropping out. So double check and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel if you've been following it for some time. I'd love to have your support, and I appreciate every bit of it. The Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box from 151 has just been skyrocketing. $272, is that accurate? It is. It's $271.15, but crazy climb here. The exclusivity here, the stamped promo, all of the things, and of course it's 151. Just like the rest of the 151 products, they've been going up. This is the UPC, just a good climb here, 243 and a penny. Looks like we might be starting to even out a little bit. That will hold steady there, but I think there's still room over time for this kind of thing to grow. The mini tin display, I don't think this one gets discussed all that much. It had a weird little dip down here. I don't know exactly what that's about. I mean, the dip down to 171 is still expensive on these, and we're back to the 188 here, from a high of 190. I think that's our high overall. Yeah, but we are really up here in this spot, in that 180 to 190 range, and we are going to be climbing, I believe, just because of the exclusivity. 151 is difficult. Having sealed sets of the mini tins is actually pretty hard. It must have been those mini tins that you could get at Costco that brought that price down a lot. It wasn't a sealed case, but you'd get 5 in there. The Elite Trainer Box itself is over 100 and steady there at $120 for that Elite Trainer Box. You don't get the stamp promo, but you do get a Snorlax. Charizard EX, we saw this one climb up pretty high into the 200 range, and then it's come down a little bit, but $207 here looks like a little bit better price and maybe some shipping on it. So maybe the market's going to be holding steady at this one for a little while. Venusaur has overtaken Blastoise and had it coming almost to that $100 mark in some of these. Is it? Oh geez, that's not right there. We're actually at 75 or 74 really. There was a peak for a bit at almost 80, and we are on the growth still for this card here. The Blastoise, similar story. We're going to see almost the same graph here, but just shy behind the Venusaur. I think the artwork is speaking a little bit louder now. That's why, because typically Blastoise would have the love. $73 though, just keeping it a touch behind that Venusaur on the Blastoise. Zapdos, this was late to the game in growing for sure, and I think people were noticing that around $40 it was good, but once we got into that $50 range, it seemed a little bit more accepting of the reality that $56, okay, $54, $55, somewhere in here seems about right. I don't think this one needs to go too crazy too fast as far as growth. That's a reasonable price point for that. Charmander, I believe, is the highest listed illustration rare, coming in at $54 on that listing. Nah, it's 50. All right, okay, not too bad there. $50 here. Make sure you don't just jump right into whatever that top listing is, and do some research in how you want to go about getting these. If you can't get the packs and you can't do the pulls, then finding it on the singles market is a little bit difficult. So make sure, not difficult as far as availability, but difficult in what you're going to accept when you're spending this kind of money. So make sure you look into it. Things like eBay, you get a lot of pictures, you can interact with the sellers. Go into a local card store, holding it, seeing it in person, that helps a lot there. Alakazam EX here had some good growth. We've saw it for a long time sitting at $32 range or so, had a good steady growth pattern here, and now we got up to that almost 45-ish and settling off a little bit, but I think we still see a little bit of growth in this one, coming in that $42, almost $43 range there. The last set we're looking at is Obsidian Flames, surprisingly, because it was such a set that people wanted to pass on when it first came up. But the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box, are we noticing a trend? Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Boxes usually doing well, performing well over time. It took until we had Stellar Crown to show that Charmander had a lot more value than we thought. $248, is that right? $226 looks like the market value. Okay, still, that's a lot for one ETB, especially one so simple that a lot of people were going to pass on. So interesting to see that here. We do have the Obsidian Flames booster box, which is not even at MSRP yet, but this was sitting so low for so long because it has such easy pull rates. The $100 box was not out of sight for this one for a long time. Some slow growth here, and just by dollar, we've worked our way up to $130 now on this one, which, if you're going to go after it, this isn't a horrible pickup price, especially given the landscape today in the Pokemon market, so something to consider there. Looking at a few single cards here, Charizard EX, the chase of the set. This one was a $40 card for a very long time, up and down, but it was a $40 card. Not hard to find at 40 for a long time, and now we've seen some exponential growth coming in here, peaking at almost 70, but now we're leveled off at $60 for the current market. If we look at the last year, we are getting back, I obviously would have to go further back to the release, but $60 a year ago, and that was coming down from some FOMO prices until people started really seeing how easy this was to get as pulls, and $60 today. So not too bad over the last 6 months of some big growth there if you got it. If you're looking to pick it up, I think we're kind of at the highest point you could be to feel okay in picking it up at that price because of the trend of the last year. Okay, if you were to pick it up back a year ago, you probably would have felt a little salty the entire time until you get to now where you've recovered fully. So if you're picking it up now, in another year, is it going to be 60? Probably not. This is probably going to be the growth that you're going to see moving forward. So these things do take time. So I don't think it's a horrible pickup at 60 bucks for that Charizard. Moving along to the gold version here, Charizard EX gold card here. This one got down as low as like 15 bucks for a while. Okay, it looks like a couple days, but really it was a little while. You could find it pretty reasonably easy at around a $15 range there. And here we are sitting at $23 for the gold Charizard. It's Charizard, folks. There's value there. Almost always there's value in Charizard. Ninetales, beautiful artwork, overlooked by many. This is one of the few sets that I've mastered in recent years, so glad that I have these now because they're growing. It was really inexpensive considering to master the set, but now it's a fun one to have held on to fully, especially being the Charizard set of the Scarlet and Violet era. $23, is that right there? Not quite. 20 bucks is what we're seeing on a market value. So those listings on top. But this is almost the peak of what we've seen in the past 6 months and the last year. Okay, wow, this was really inexpensive. Dang, kind of a missed opportunity for a lot of people if you weren't able to be a part of it then. But that's okay. You know what? It's on a growth. And I think the artwork stands that it's going to keep going up. This is the highest listed illustration rare out of this set. That's going to do it for us for the Trending Tuesday. Don't forget about the giveaway. 4,000 subscribers, I'm giving away one Pokemon 51 poster collection, 151 Pokemon poster collection. What am I saying? Who knows anymore? 2 3-pack blisters of Surging Sparks, and 5 Pokemon mystery card lots going out to 8 winners of the channel, 8 subscribers. You got to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell because I post 7 days a week. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.